Hello and welcome to The Simple Garden. My name is Stacy. I'm coming to you from Detroit, Michigan, where I garden in Zone 6B. Today is June 5th and most of my garden roses are in full bloom. I'm so excited to share these with you. I have a pretty sizable collection for only collecting for a couple of years. We've been in this house. This is our third June here in Detroit. So everything you see has been established in the last two growing seasons and even this year, and I'm just so happy. I love garden roses and I'm so excited to show you what they look like in our zone. First up is Abraham Darby, and I mean, this is a David Austin. Most of them in my collection are, and it is huge. Like, this is the size of my hand. And these are the blooms. They're just the sweetest color. They're a little pinker this year than normal. And also, don't mind all of this. I recently sprayed. They were covered in aphids. And usually I just let them go, but it was really bad. So I had to spray them this year. But I love these blooms so much. The scent is unmatched. And I love this rose from the very beginning when it starts budding up. Here are some buds. It's this beautiful apricot, almost peachy color, and they just slowly and surely become the most beautiful flower. Again, there are so many in bloom here. This is a 2-year rose. There's another giant bloom. For height reference, I am about 5'2", and this one is already about 5 feet tall, and it is a 2nd year rose. I got this last year from Heirloom Roses, and I love I love her so much. For a 2nd year rose, she is just covered in these giant blooms and just still so many buds. Yeah, you can see all the aphid carcasses. It's just kind of gross, but that's also just part of the garden. But yes, she's just the most beautiful. I love it so much. This is Carding Mill, and Carding Mill is not my favorite rose in the collection. This is another David Austin, but I think this one really takes on different personalities in different climates. In Zone 6B, we get pretty cold in the winter, and I think that's what's making her such a bright rose. There's no filters, nothing. It's a little too bright for me. I really prefer those more subtle, blushy, creamy apricot colors in my roses, and this is kind of a bright coral. And also the scent is just not my favorite. The form is not my favorite, but she's blooming her head off, and I just don't have the heart to rehome her yet. So maybe in the spring, maybe my sister will take her, but I mean, this one's pretty. Maybe I'll give her another year and see how she does in a year 3. She's only year 2 right now. We'll see. We will see. But definitely not my favorite. Lady of Shalott, also from David Austin. Are you sensing a theme? This is a rose my husband fell in love with at our local garden called Detroit Abloom. And he just fell in love with the scent, and we figured out what it was, and it's the Lady of Shalott. So it's this weird orangey, almost copper color that it's not my favorite, but he loves it so much, and I actually really like the scent, and it just kind of works in my garden, so I don't mind it at all. The buds start, where is a bud? The buds start like this weird, like ketchup and mustard situation. Can you focus? And then it turns into just the most glowy, and these flowers are also pretty large. Yeah, the scent is intoxicating, and it blooms in sprays of 3 usually. That's been my experience, or on the single stems. And this is a shrub rose, but I have put it on an obelisk because this one is also getting tall. Again, I'm only 5'2", and this one is going to take over me in the next probably few weeks, but I just love her. Golden Celebration. If you love giant blooms, and I mean giant fluffy blooms, if you love golden yellows and apricots, if you love beautiful smells, Golden Celebration needs to be on your list. This is a 2nd-year rose for me. I got her, I believe, from David Austin, the website. I might have gotten her from Heirloom Roses, but I am pleasantly surprised by this rose. I got her because my daughter Eliza, her birthday is in June, so that means her birth flower is a rose. And Doug already picked out his Lady of Shalott, and I picked out an Evelyn rose, which is behind. And so I wanted to get her own little family rose for this collection of 3, and yellow is her favorite color. So I picked Golden Celebration because it was my favorite of the yellow David Austin roses, and I cannot believe how much I love her. I mean, it is just the most beautiful floral but warm scent. And this color, it's anything, it's unlike anything I have in the garden at the moment. Plus, this bloom has been around for a couple of days and it's still holding on strong. And it blooms in these giant clusters. It is just such an impactful rose. If you don't have a ton of space, I highly recommend. I will point out though, I do have her staked on some bamboo because her canes are a little floppy. And I don't know if that's just because I didn't prune her very well, which honestly, I did not prune any of my roses well last year. So I think it's partially my fault, and also the blooms are just so heavy that everything was kind of toppling over, but it looks so much better now that it's all neat and tidy. Crown Princess Margaretta, another David Austin. This one, it's doing some weird things this year. So we've had really hot temperatures, mid-90s for the past couple of days, and I think it kind of bleached out this first round of blooms because it's not normally this buttery. This is a much better representation of what the color normally looks like for me when a bloom is fully bloomed. Sometimes it starts out a little bit brighter and fades to a more buff color, but this creamy peach, buttery, I don't even know situation is really unusual. And I really just think it was the quick onset of hot temperatures. This is what she looks like. Hello. Just absolutely packed with petals. And I had to cut this one down all the way. There's a lot of dead growth. That sounds like an oxymoron. There's a lot of dead branches on this one from the winter, and I had to cut her all the way back, and it's getting there. So I'm wrapping her around this trellis, and well, I guess it's technically an arch. And I also have a matching one on this side. Again, just so beautiful, and the scent is incredible. Moving to my back box of roses, I have only one in bloom right now, and this is Crocus from David Austin. I think this one might be discontinued, but it's honestly one of my favorite David Austin roses. The scent is unmatched. It's a beautiful, light, rosy scent. I don't know, it feels like I want to bottle it and wear it as a perfume or have it as a candle. And it's not fully open yet, but it also has like this really unusual center that I just absolutely love. And the color is perfect. This is exactly what I want in a rose. Wallerton Old Hall is an instant classic rose from David Austin. It is this beautiful cup shape, not a ton of petals, and it's this beautiful apricot color. You're probably gonna get sick of me saying that, but I just love this in a rose so much. And I'm growing these up my chimney to create kind of an English cottage kind of vibe. And I am so happy I picked Wallerton as one of the roses I'm using to create this vision. It's deeply cupped and smells, so it's a myrrh fragrance. And it's not my favorite, but I also don't hate it. I definitely care more about the looks of this rose though. Even though the flowers are my favorite, I think my second favorite part of Wallerton is the way the buds look. They just don't look real. I think they're just the sweetest. They almost look like beauty blenders, if I'm being honest. That's what they remind me of. That is everything that is currently blooming on June 5th in 2023 in Detroit, Michigan, in my garden. And I am just so excited that it's rose season. I hope you are too, and I hope you will come back when more roses are in bloom. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.